What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Haunting of Hill House Season 2 trailer breakdown and things we know video. I'm really hoping that the second season of the show will not take me 2 years to watch due to the first season being god tier spooky. While the first season of the show was based on the novel by Shirley Jackson, this second season in the anthology show will be moving to Bly Manor. Bly Manor being the subject of this season and being adapted from the novel The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. It follows a woman who takes a job as a governess for a house in the late 1800s and is haunted by ghosts and even becomes controlled by one, and there are two orphan children who need to be looked after their uncle, but he has zero interest in raising them. And one of them, Miles, gets expelled from the school, and it really does take a turn there. Yeah, should we move on? Now, the story is actually set in the 1980s. Now, after an au pair's tragic death, Henry Wingrave hires an American nanny to care for his orphan niece and nephew, who actually live at Bly Manor, with the estate's chef Owen, groundskeeper Jamie, and housekeeper Mrs. Gross. Now, Mrs. Gross, of course, is going to be a big part because she was also a big part in the trailer, which we will get into later on. However, it soon becomes an absolute mess, as in the book, many different characters actually knew about the ghosts. So I expect that we will see different stories from different parts of these people actually intertwine with everything else. Now, the Peter Quint character was involved with nearly every single person because he was a sly dog, and that will be a big thing moving forward, but I'll discuss more of that in a minute. We open with Victoria Pedretti returning to the series in a basement, and as you fans of the first season know, this is possibly the worst place you can actually be. She's playing an American tutor coming in to tutor the two children, but I expect this might be like the source material where the kids have had to leave school, and this is why a tutor is actually being brought in the first place there as well. Now, she sees a doll and then walks away only for the Blumhouse Toy Story adaptation to occur, and the doll actually tracks her. Now, as well as this, it opens with a narrator, and in the book, the story was a manuscript, so this could be a nice framing device for the season, as it was an interesting way, and it's quite a usual trope for horror stories of the 1800s to be framed in a narrative like this. We then cut to the housekeeper, Mrs. Gross, who is with the children, and she seems to be kind of like the real mainstay of all of these shots, and she will be explaining that this is a nice place to stay for Danny, but I expect she knows some secrets as well. She is with the two children, Flora and Miles, Miles being expelled from the school. Flora has an extensive handmade doll collection, and the dolls at the start of the trailer are hers, and it is reportedly important how she actually interacts with them, and also a character called Peter Quint, who is actually a ghost, played by here returning actor Oliver Jackson Cohen, who was the damaged and broken sibling there in the first season. He walks around the grounds basically doing what he wants, and is, or at least was, a business associate of the children's uncle, Henry Wingrave, here played by the father of the previous season. Quint was also a bad influence on Miles, and I expect some sort of time hopping here as we maybe learn of the ghost lives before, actually being dead. Now, we have the character I mentioned who the actress actually played in Years and Years, and she's looking down a well, and I think that she will actually be one of the keys to the season here, investigating the weird house. But it is interesting here that this governess will actually have been here for quite a while, and she kind of explains that the whole house is a nice place to Danny. So we may see some friction between these two as well, but we might see some kind of plot device changes with these two, and it may take a bit of a turn from the book itself. The most intriguing part is when we see a woman of the lake. The lake was also in the book, as Flora was actually found there and suspected of speaking to a previous employee, Miss Jessel. So I expect this to be a previous inhabitant of Bly Manor who died in mysterious circumstances. And it's always a big thing, it's a big horror trope here when you have like a big creepy woman of the lake or a drowned woman or a just real kind of a body which looks dead. It's usually ghosts of themselves or whatever. But here we're going to see this and it's going to look absolutely creepy, and this may be the second season version of the Crooked Neck Lady. Now, kids' toys make another appearance with the world's creepiest doll's house, which controls itself, and it is self-sustaining there as what looks like Miles looks on across the corridor. The toys will be a big feature this season, and maybe we'll see the creepy-ass toys hidden instead of ghosts like last season. The show's creator has actually said to keep an eye on the dollhouse throughout the season, so I reckon it will be a mirror to the ongoings of the house. I would like that. It'd be interesting to see the doll's house move along, and then we see things which will come many episodes later. Now at the end, Flora is in another creepy room as a ghost appears behind her as she tells it to shush. Now she can seemingly control the ghosts, and the kids could see the ghosts in the book as well, so they may even be the conduits this time for the Haunting of Bly Manor, much to the adults' dismay. The governess seems to describe the manor as a good place to Danny, and the actress who plays her, like I said, was in the superb BBC time-hopping drama Years and Years, which I would really highly recommend to you. It's also revealed that the season comes out on October 9th, which really isn't that far away, and I'm super excited for the show to come. Now, of course, it is a manor house, so there will be years and years and years of dark secrets and dead people, so I expect that the American tutor here, which is obviously played by Victoria Pedretti, is going to be unearthed throughout the entire season, and the ghosts will reveal these different stories. So we will see many different intertwined stories throughout the entire season. One thing I really like is Raoul Coley is going to be the chef Owen, who's the chef for the entire estate, and he was great, of course, in iZombie, and again, his Twitter patter is just absolutely hilarious. Now, in the book as well, many of the actual people who work there knew of these stories, especially people such as Mrs. Gross, who seems to be a very sort of a mainstay of this teaser trailer. So I expect she knows where all the skeletons are buried, so to speak. But overall, I'm very excited for this. It's literally just over a month away. So let me know in the comments what you think. Please drop a like down below, and please do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.